Like one of my speeches I talk about it's the dog in me, right? And I say that because during our homeless season, this is just perspective. One of our office buildings, where my father worked, was his office by day and it was our home by night. And outside of that building in Chicago, Illinois, there was an actual homeless man that slept outside every night on the doorstep. And we became friends because we had a secret. We were both homeless. It's just two different types of homelessness, right? And so he had a deep, raspy voice. He said, "My name is Dog." That's how he saw himself. That was his perspective of himself and his situation. And we remember we had a crazy blizzard storm and we begged Dog to come inside because he would never come inside because he said to me, "Dogs sleep outside. Dogs sleep outside." That was his perspective. I'm living a life of a dog. What happened to him in life where he gave up? What happened to him in life where he just said, "I'm no longer worthy to be a human, a man. I consider myself a dog"? But there was some type of hope. There was some type of faith. There was some type of determination that was on the inside of us to say, our lives don't have to end up like Dog. And that night of that winter storm, literally we begged Dog, come inside. And he said no, because dogs sleep outside. But I got up and I went to the bathroom in the middle of the night and Dog was on my heart. Because you can be going through a situation, but what is the true character? Are you still compassionate for people? Are you still caring? Although your world might not be as you want it to be. And literally Dog decided that night to come in the building. He slept on the inside because it was bitter cold Chicago. And when I tell you, that's what I say, you got to find the dog in you, because he made the right decision that night. That could have been life or death. If he may have not decided to come in, Dog could have died froze to death that night. But what was in him that led him, I feel that thing, to say, I'm going to make one good decision to make it one more day? You got to find the dog in you.
Grace and peace. Welcome to another episode of the Legacy Inspired Podcast, where I am your host, Randy. Listen, tonight is going to be a good night. I have someone in which I have a tremendous amount of respect for. And we just actually met probably earlier this year throughout a church gathering, fellowship, a movie premiere, if you will. I won't go into details about that. It was a great premiere, but we kind of became connected at this particular movie premiere. And I said, I have to connect with her. And so through multiple conversations and multiple connections, I was able to get her on the podcast. And so she is here. And I'm not even going to do a disservice in trying to introduce her. I'm going to let her introduce herself, all right? And so without further ado, let me bring her on. Boom, there she go. There she go. What's up, Kyra?
How are you, Randy?
I am good. Now that I am talking with the one and only.
Oh, you're so kind.
With the one and only. Listen, we're going to kick this thing off. Okay? Just introduce yourself. How do you want to introduce yourself? I want you to introduce yourself to the people. Let the people know who you are.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first of all, just thank you, Randy, for allowing me to be on here, to just share my story, just to have a down-to-earth conversation. So I am Kyra Lajune, and you will see Ashby as well, because that is my last name. But as the Lord transitions me, my last name will not be the same. Come on, we get started now.
Don't do it. Don't do
But
it.
his calling and purpose on my life shall always be the same. Kyra Lajune is a speaker, impact specialist. I love to just be called your sis. And honestly, Randy, my purpose and my gift that God has given me that I'm so blessed to just be able to have is I have the gift of building relationships, of inspiring people, of impacting people, encouraging people all over the world. And my goal and my passion is to help entrepreneurs, individuals, business owners. I don't care if you're just a mom and you're looking to properly communicate your message to your audience, right? And that audience can be a mother to a son. That audience can be a manager to his team. That audience can be a entrepreneur to their target audience of choice or their ideal clientele. But I am, and I love to just be called sis because during this process, I'm a motivational speaker, but I'm also a coach. And in the process, when we're coaching about communication skills and presenting yourself and even promoting yourself publicly, it can be uncomfortable. It does require you to be vulnerable and say the things that you're afraid of and the things that you're like, people are going to look at me and they're going to judge me, all of those things. And so I hope, my hope is that you're comfortable enough as if we're brothers and sisters so that you can just be transparent. I'm going to be there to say, look, that did not sound good and it don't look good, but we're going to get it right.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So let's take it back.
Okay.
Before you became sis,
Mm,
before you came, let's see
welcome.
what that looking like. Let's see what
Yeah.
that's looking like.
Yeah.
What was life like before you discovered who sis is?
Mm,
What was that like? What was that like before you became sis?
yeah. Yeah.
Before you
Great
became
question.
this public speaker?
Yes.
Why?
Great question.
What was that like?
Okay, so let's just hop in. So to be honest with you, I came into this cis title and this I came to realize the gift that I had probably here within the last for sure 3 to 4 years. But to be honest with you, Randy, I've been talking my whole life. I've been talking my whole life. You ask my mom and daddy, my father used to always say, girl, you stay on that phone, you stay talking. One day you gonna work for the telephone company. You know what I mean?
Right, right,
And you
right.
know what's so funny? Just watching your words, I actually my 9 to 5 position before we got to sissing and before we got to, traveling the world and all of those great things is I literally was working with people. One was at a university, as an admissions advisor. I'm just connecting with people and helping them in the next stage of their life. Another one here currently, I work for Xfinity, also known as Comcast, talking. I am in sales and marketing, but really it's just relational. I am holding conversations with corporate leadership and property managers and things like that. I'm really just having a conversation with them because this is one thing I truly believe. If people believe and trust in you, the know, like, and trust, it does not matter what you offer. It does not matter what you sell if they know, like, and trust you. And so, honestly, before we got to the stages and the lights and the shows and everything, it really was. I was just talking my whole life. And I always tell my clients you don't have to recreate the wheel. You don't. Just think about what am I good at? What do others say that I'm good at? That's one of the homework assignments I always give, and I'm gonna give that to you and your audience as well. I say, hey, send out a text message to about 30 people in all different backgrounds, whether it's your family, your friends, they don't say all the good stuff. Send it to that ex-boyfriend or girlfriend because they're gonna tell you the truth. What's something that you're good? What's one thing that you think that I'm great at? Right. And from there, that's first of all going to let you know how people receive you. And so literally I did that for myself. Everybody came back and said, connecting with people, you may always inspire me. You always have great energy. You always have a great personality. You always find the positive in it, right? These are things that sometimes we can take our gift for granted. We can take our true talent for granted and think, oh, that's just me every day. So, what was life before sis? I was still talking, I was still being sis. I just did not realize that this is something that has the value and weight that it really does, and that people need it as much. I was kind of being selfish for myself and just say I can talk to people, but how am I going to use that skill to help somebody else? So beforehand, I was working and talking. And
That's,
after as a sis, I'm working and talking.
that's good. And it's interesting that you took a different perspective on
Yeah.
discovering who sis is,
Oh yeah.
because sometimes we have a tendency of finding our gift through pain,
Mm,
finding our gift through brokenness. But you thought you found your voice through positivity. You found your gift through positivity. Which leads me to this question: How has and it's good for the positivity, but what about the pain? Has pain shaped your voice? What did the pain do to
yeah.
get you to where you are right now?
Yeah, yeah. So great, so great. So funny that you asked that question because one of the main topics that I speak about is confidence and confidence in who you are, who your gift are. If you are a believer, a faith-based background, then confidence in the God in you, right? Whatever that means to you. And when you talk about the pain, I had to discover my own confidence. I'm talking from a place of experience and what I know, not what I heard, right? And so I'm talking about the self doubt. Will anyone ever pay you to speak? Will people listen to you? You may not fit the physical mold of a motivational speaker. You may not be the complexion of the successful motivational speakers, right? So I had to my business, my gift was birthed out of pain, was birthed out of doubt, was birthed out of fear, was birthed out of, can I even do this? Will people even accept me? Right? All of those things that we all have, those insecurities, all of that. And when I tell you, it was surrounding myself with people that see me and believe in my gift and will say, girl, no matter what you may feel right now, it will come that will push you forward. But it also came from some negative words that was spoken to me for people that hold weight. How are you gonna be a speaker and your accent comes out from South Side of Chicago? How you gonna be a speaker and when you get excited you start stuttering a little bit, like right? But the great thing I always say about confidence is that confidence can be built. It can be built. You don't have to start your business transitioning right from your 9 to 5, walking into an entrepreneur and have everything together. Confidence can be built, but you must start somewhere, and you must first of all be honest with yourself. And I just took that time and say, I know that people are attracted to me. I know that I am an influencer. And when I started to believe that, when I started to receive that, when I started to walk confidently, even with a shake in my leg, I started to move forward in that, then my confidence muscle was built. And I have learned the strategies and the tools to be able to teach others. And I can say, I know what you're feeling before you go live, and I know you're nervous and all of that. But hey, guess what? Think about the people on the other side of that screen that are going to take one word that you said and apply it to their life and it changed. Absolutely. My whole career, my life was birthed out of pain.
How do you find your voice? Like I mean,
Mm,
speak to that. Speak
yeah,
to the person that is working a 9 to 5 and trying to figure things
yeah,
out. They have this gift locked on the inside. They want to become a speaker,
yeah.
but how do you find your voice? Where does that come from? Where you come? Where does it? How do you get that?
Excellent. Excellent question. I think it's first just being honest with yourself. The first thing that I always stand on to say when you're finding your voice, your message, what are you passionate about? What are you passionate about? Do not get up and speak about something that you cannot first feel yourself because your audience will not feel it. If you don't believe it, I'm not going to believe it. If you don't apply it to your life, I'm not going to apply it to my life. What's from the heart reaches the heart. My dad used to always tell me that. So for me, finding your voice is just saying, first of all, what am I passionate about? What moves me? What keeps me up at night? What problem do I like? Man, I really need to solve that. What are you passionate about? And I think from there, then you will start to ask yourself the questions of why am I passionate about? Like, why do I want to see the change? How can that change be? How can I be that change, right? And so before you know it, you will start to develop your message, and that's going to bring clarity. That's one of the other things that I teach is clarity of your message. What am I saying? Yes, I can get on the stage. I want to be a speaker, but who am I speaking to? What am I speaking about? A motivational speaker. Okay, am I wanting to speak to elderly people? Am I wanting to speak to corporate? Am I wanting to speak to the colleges? Am I wanting to speak to high school? I want to get them babies right there, but in those formable years, right? So that's how you start to create your message, your voice to say, you know what? I speak differently to a group of teenagers than I may do in a corporate setting, right? So I have found at this stage of my life, and it changes, although I have a corporate background, I enjoy talking to that junior, senior high school and those college students. At the same time, I also have a passion for corporate because I understand what it takes to provide great customer service. Once again, it's dealing with people. So this is how you start to create your story, but it's a difference from saying this is my target audience with my target message, and this is a message that I know can reach everyone. So let's take, for instance, if we have a darts board. Of course, the object of the darts board is to hit that bullseye right there in the middle. So if my message is of, I don't know, I'm just going to go off the top of my head. Let's just say
Help yourself.
it's cool, cool, cool. Let's just say my target message is, let's just say confidence. I'm going to go with myself. I use myself as an example. Just being confident, right? I feel like I will be able to hit bullseye, which I can relate to this audience. I feel like I have experienced enough, but yet I've also experienced enough on the positive side and the growth of this audience to be impactful. And I would say that high school to college students, right? That's my bullseye target audience. I feel like I'm cool enough, got enough swag enough, that they will accept me to say she's at one point been where I am. And at the same time, she has also transitioned and she is somewhere else of where I want to be. So that will be my target audience. But that does not mean that a woman transition into entrepreneurship cannot connect with my message. So I find my voice in saying, what am I passionate about? What can I boldly and confidently begin to speak about? And then who am I speaking to? And from there, the opportunities will come. You will see who's going to receive your message. Sometimes we try to say, I want to speak to these people. They might not receive you, but the corporate audience might eat you up. Then that's someone that can relate to you and that you have an impact, right? And so sometimes it does come through exploring. It's a little bit of trial and error. It's a little bit of saying, hey, I went to the elementary school. They told me, girl, you suck. You was boring. They took out their phones, You just have to be open to that. But a part of finding your voice, first of all, starts with passion. And then from there, just identifying who is it that I want to reach. And then you just kind of have to do it and explore it.
Why would somebody want to become a speaker? Is there money in there? Can they really
Great.
make money? Is this something that they can really leave their job and do full time? They see the Les
Absolutely.
Browns, they see the Tony Robbins, they see the ETs, they
Absolutely.
see the um what's my man name? I can't think of his name, but there's
For
so
sure.
many,
For
there's so
sure.
many. Can you make money in this? Is it?
Yes. Yes. Let me just be honest, you can. And that's something too, because people are like, you don't have to do everything for money. You don't. I'm gonna tell you now, if you are only wanting to be a motivational speaker or be on a platform or be seen virtually just for the money, then I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna disappoint yourself. Because there are gonna be times where you're just gonna have to go for the exposure. You're just gonna have to go for the practice, the opportunity, and just to give value. And there's nothing wrong with that. However, I am learning that there are designated dollars that are attached to impact. And I'm just gonna be real with you. Like, I got into motivational speaking. Like I said, I've been speaking my whole life. I'm working with all these corporate companies, and they are literally giving me a nice salary to speak and to hold a relationship. And it really just helped me to identify that I have something special. And I started thinking about my life. The name of this podcast is Legacy Inspired. I started thinking about my life 20 years from now. What is it that I want to be do? I want the freedom of time. I want the freedom of money. I want to be able to be with my family and not have to, go into work once I get pregnant and have kids, right? I just wanted that flexibility to say, I just want to be able to be me. But I also had to be real with myself and say, I like large sums of money. I don't
Come
like to
on.
work real hard. Let's be
Talk to
real
him.
here.
Talk to him. Talk to him.
I
Talk to
don't
him.
want to work long, hard, and hard labor. I feel like I'm too cute and I'm too talented to do that. No offense to those that do, but for me, that's just not my heart's desire. I want to be able to go. I want to be able to use everything that I am, my
Mhm.
looks, my personality, my style, my flavor, my conversation, and I want to get paid and compensated for it. And to be honest with you, and I'll just kind of give some information. The average range for a motivational speaker to go and speak, at a low level, let's just get out here at a low level. If you are, kind of beginning and you have your stuff together, because people not gonna pay you good money and you just up there talking about, oh yeah, I made it to the stage. What you talking about? We just talked about that voice. But from the average pay for a motivational speaker is between 2,500 and 5,000 one speaking engagement, and your average speaking engagement is 30 minutes to an hour. And so literally, I just said that sounds like something I can do. I talk a whole lot. I'll take $5,000 for an hour of impact,
Mhm.
right? Now, are there times where I went and spoke for an hour, did a whole workshop, and did not get paid at all? Yes. But I will say from that engagement, I may have picked up two other speaking engagements. I may have picked up a coaching personal client. If nothing else, I know that that little girl that came up to me and said, "Hey, you know what? I all of my friends told me that I'm cool, but I know that my attitude is bad. And by listening to you, I want to be better." That's those type of things are priceless. But is there a price attached to it? Absolutely. But I will say in this industry, from the time that I've been in it, I can tell those that if you're only in it for the money, it will show. It will show, and people are like, "You get who wants to be sold? You just want to be sold." We can't stand a car salesman like, "I know they finna come up here trying to hustle me." Mm-mm. But if you go and you meet a need, if you go and you are genuinely there for impact, then the income will come. There might have to be a journey. I've heard some of the greats from the Eric Thomases, oh, what's his name? This is my favorite story too. Inky Johnson.
Inky, that's his
Inky,
name.
I knew it. I knew it
Yeah.
was on the tip of my tongue. The Inky Johnsons. I'm telling you, he tells his story, his first speaking engagement. I'm telling my wife, baby, this is it. They didn't book me. I think he went somewhere like in the boondocks, somewhere in the woods or something. This is it. It's a youth conference. He went there, rocked the stage. They paid him in a mug with the I on it for his name. He's like, baby, this is my payment. I got paid in this mug. He did it with a smile. He did it with class. He did it with grace. And I think he said, like, however the story goes, a couple of years later, that he has been a continuing rebooking of one of the top, paid gigs that he knows. So you just never know the harvest that will come from that seed that you're planting. However, I think it's perfectly fine to come into the door and saying, hey, this is my speaking fee. However, I have the liberty to say I can make the adjustments based upon your budget, but I never want I never want money to be the reason why that I'm not able to have impact. Now, at the same time, people will try to use and abuse that. You just have to use discernment and just kind of say, okay, is this the position for me? Are there other ways that I can profit? Maybe you have a product, maybe you have a book or a t-shirt to say, okay, you may not be able to have the budget to bring me in, but can I sell my books? You might make a couple thousand off the book table, right? So really just staying open-minded. But is there money in speaking? Absolutely. And the more that you perfect your craft, the more that you study, the more that you meet the need of the people, the more willing they are to pay.
That's good. That's good. So
Yeah.
so I know we talked about this sis thing. What is a sister? What is a speaker?
Impact.
I'm about to get it right. I'm about to get it wrong, but I'm about to get it right.
Come
What
on,
is
get it
a
right.
speaker? What is a speaker impact specialist?
Awesome. So, what I do is I help speakers, individuals, people, period, deliver their message in a way that creates impact.
So
And
your
from
bro,
that impact,
so that name is telling
yes,
people how you help them.
for sure, it's how you deliver your message. right? How you communicate to them, how you literally say, if you have a product, how you get on live and you pitch that product, right? We're talking about your body language. We're talking about eye contact. We're talking about, are you inviting? Are you a pleasure to work with when people do business with you, right? And so the three things that I cover in my coaching is, once again, confidence, clarity, and your charisma, your personal charm. How do you and use that to profit and to increase your life, your relationships, whatever your ending goal is within your business. And so I teach that. I mean, and what that can look like within sessions is literally like, first of all, who are you? You will be surprised, Randy, how many times we're asked that question, or I ask that question to my clients, and it's like, what you mean? No, who are you? Literally, that question, I've had several clients just begin to cry. You know, that's why I like the sis, because it's personal. Like, we go to work. I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to make you uncomfortable, but I want you to be uncomfortable so that you can become comfortable in being you and being challenged and blossoming. So and that deals with confidence. Sometimes we come out with childhood things that happen, but we got to deal with that before we get on live or get on the stage, and people are like, baby, we see all of that, right? That comes out. So confidence is another thing. Clarity of message, like clarity of who my audience is. Like I talked about earlier, what are we talking about? Who am I talking to? Like, what do they like? Now that I've identified that, what do they like? They may not like when I come on here with my face just bare, right? Naturally be yourself, but my audience may respond a little bit when I got a colored lip on, right? These are the things, because this is who I'm trying to reach. So if I can put on a colored lip, and that helps me to encourage you to do X, Y, and Z. And then you're going to go and book a session with me because I like her flavor, I like her style, right? You just never know, right? And then the last thing is your charisma, your personal charm. That's what charisma means, your charm. What about you makes people want to work with you? Everybody has a podcast. Everybody has, we want to be a motivational speaker. Everybody has a book, a t-shirt, a clothing line, whatever it is. There's people all over the world that has it. But what is it about you that people say, no, I want to come on this podcast with Randy? Like, what is that thing, right? What is that thing? So I hope you just kind of discover that. And we do it. It's a whole development process, but at the same time, I have not had not one student, one client come out on the other end without increase, without change, even if it's personal, without saying, you know what, I feel better about myself than I did from day one. To me, bro, I'm like, God, you use me to do that. Come on. You talking about the girl that was insecure because she's 5'9" and I've been 5'9" since eighth grade. Like, you talking about you use little me to help somebody else? You use me to minister to that family? You use me to help them realize what to do in their business to increase their. Come on, God. So look, that's the sis experience. Y'all better get with your sis and stop playing. This is God led. Come on, I felt that thing.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I
Yes,
love it. I love it. I love
yes,
it. Listen, man, it's I is this a coach? Is this a one-on-one coaching program, or is this a
yes, it is.
course?
Yes, it is. It's a one-on-one coaching program. At this time, I am working on a course, and I'll be getting with you with that as well. But I am working on a course because, unfortunately, I can't scale me. I would love to, personally. So the way that I have to do that is through a course. So I do have some things that are in the works and getting ready to launch. But as of now, it's me, and it's a full experience. Like, I lock in with you with its full. What is it that you want to lean into today? Of course, I have a curriculum that we follow, but sometimes, you know, every experience is not the same because everyone's issue is not the same, and so we lock in one-on-one. Sometimes it's in person if we're able to do, otherwise we click in and we go live. And you have access to me. Like, I'm not that, oh, your hour is up, don't call me no more. No, it's sis, like, I'm in this with you. I'm in this journey because we may get off of our call, and then you go tomorrow, you like, I'm fighting this insecurity again. I know you said that I need to go on live, but I'm just scared. I know you can't do this. And I wrote out my script. I wrote out those things, but I just don't think that I can. Girl, call me because we're not about to do that. You know what I mean?
Right,
So
right,
and
right.
I'm locked in. I'm locked in. With my team is like, hey, you need to cut your session off. I'm like, I can't. I just can't. Got to work on
So,
it.
so you got a whole team that work with you.
I do. I won't say a whole team. I'm building the team because with team comes finances and responsibilities and things like that. And just being honest, like the beautiful thing about speaking, the beautiful thing about coaching is that I get to make my decisions. At the same time, I have learned that there are things that I need to outsource. I don't want to figure out how to create a website. I don't want to do that, but I would love to pay someone who is an expert at that. So right now I do have a media team. I have an executive coach, I have a business coach, and I have a coach that coaches me on my skill of speaking, the technique. And that is Eric Thomas and Jeremy Anderson. Like I've invested in myself to say I'm in school. I
How
want to be sure I can talk just regular all day, every day, but I want to be sure when I stand up on the stage or I click into a live that I'm giving my best. And people deserve that. Yeah.
do you have to have a degree to do this?
No, you do not have to have a degree to be a speaker because speaking is your story. Nobody can tell me that my story is not my story. And nobody can tell my story like I can tell my story. You do not have to have a degree. Now, will it help to have experience and to invest in yourself and to get the proper coaching from the best to get that fine tuning, if you would say? Absolutely. In any profession, you don't even just have to be a speaker in order to do that because you want to put your best foot forward. And people, they want professionals. I want you to professionally tell me your story in your own way, but I do want to feel like it was worth the investment. However, do I have a degree? Yes, I have. My undergrad is in performing arts with the emphasis in acting and directing, so I'm no stranger to stage already. And my master's degree is in business management, and
How
so
how has that honed into your speaking?
oh
That
yeah,
whole the performing arts and
yes,
everything, acting and everything. How has that shaped your speaking?
oh yes, excellent question, excellent question. Um, you know, I've probably been out of school. I just had my 20th year high school reunion. My God, come on, I'm looking good. I'm holding
I
on.
saw that. I saw that. You was in the shy acting up.
You're acting up. Come on, giving God the glory on the south side of Chicago. I'm telling you, don't
Yeah,
let these hoops fool you. I got a little south side ghetto girl in there a little bit.
yeah.
But excellent question. But to be honest with you, sometimes you are going through training your whole life and don't even know it.
Mhm.
When you say, how does that come into play? All the stuff that I learned about just being on camera, being able to project your voice, body language. Like these are the things that I'm coaching and teaching. If you would have told me that in college, would have never thought about it. I'm just trying to be, the next Halle Berry. But at the end of the day, he really starts to sew the fabric of your life together. So all those things that I thought that I was insecure about and that I did not know, I had to stop and say, you do know it. You have a degree in it. You are trained. You are qualified. You were starring in many plays. You were, you've done camera work. You've done all of these things. Man, just by being yourself, being your personality. I don't know if you know it, but um, Bel Air, the Fresh Prince of Bel Air,
I was
which
going to mention that.
yes,
I haven't
right.
seen it, but I saw you in
Look,
there.
look. When I tell you just how your life, when you just start to just be you, I don't have to. Don't try to be a speaker. Just speak. Don't try. I'm gonna motivate somebody today. Just be yourself and let them be motivated by it. Right. Just live your life being who it is that you want to be, and you will become that person. You know what I mean? And so, literally, years ago, I had an opportunity because I just got out of college. Everybody know I did the acting and performing. Had an opportunity to work on a movie, a local movie here, where I played the wife of a rich lawyer. Come on, God, I received that. But I'm silly too if y'all didn't understand. And so,
He'll get you
um,
to the He'll give you the desires. He'll give you.
He will give. You got to make your request known, though.
Come on, come on, come on, come on.
I love it. I love it. But I was on the set, and the one of the cinematography guys was a guy named Morgan Cooper, and me just being myself on set, and we laughing, talking in between things, just having a great time. Didn't think anything of it. And he was like, "Man, I just really enjoy your energy." That's one thing you have to listen to what people always say about you. Your energy, your energy. I don't have to try to be something. People naturally notice my energy, right? And he's like, "Man, you just always so cool to be around." No problem. Years later, talking about just doing the work along the way, and it'll happen. Years later, I got a phone call, and he said, "Hey, I have this idea that I know is getting ready to change the world, and it's a remake of The Fresh Prince of Bel Air, and I'm looking for someone to play Aunt Viv, and you're the first person that came to mind." What? Absolutely. And so, literally, I had the opportunity to play Aunt Viv in the trailer that went viral in 24 hours all over the world, all of the world. I mean, I'm getting people from Great Britain and stuff like, "Oh, 24 hours. It don't take a long time
And
for you to
and
be here."
she's on my
Come
podcast.
on. And I'm here with Randy. I'm Viv, okay? I'm
I
telling
got
you,
them
just
beer,
never
y'all. I got
know.
them beer.
Come on, come on. I'm telling you. So from that trailer that went viral all over the world, it now produced what we see now on Peacock, which is also a. Let me tell you how things work together when you just be yourself. So the show Bel Air is um, broadcast is shown on Peacock, which is the Xfinity platform for which I work my 9 to 5. But let me tell you how
I
your
didn't know
9 to 5 and your passion, your goals, your dreams can combine and work together. It's because once everybody saw the video, it went viral. My bosses and stuff are like showing it in our meetings. I'm like, okay, literally, it went viral. I had the opportunity to bring Morgan Cooper on to the our internal platform to do an exclusive 1 hour interview with him about the process of Bel Air. Bel Air, it broke the records of the most watched show on Peacock platform. And because they knew I played on Viv, and I just asked him because I'm building relationships along the way. I just said, "Hey, would you mind doing an interview? Come in and talk about it." Absolutely. He did a part one. We're working on part two. Just because being who you are. So you don't have to rush the position that you're in. Now, if you're working a 9 to 5, think about how can I have this 9 to 5 work for me?
Right. It's funny you mentioned that because my guy, man, big brother, mentor, I mentioned him to you, Storm Leroy, shout out to him.
Okay.
He said your job is your first business partner.
Come on. I heard somebody said, "Oh, my job is a silent investor in my business
Yes,
because they
yes,
have to pay my bills." Okay.
yes,
As
yes.
I'm building, I
Speak,
need my lights on.
listen, let's talk about that. Let's
Woo!
talk about that. How do you because that's a different mindset. That's a
Uh-huh.
different perspective.
Uh-huh.
Because it's very easy. You have the tendency to have this 40 plan in your head that
Mm,
I'm going to work 40 hours. I'm going to retire with only 40% of my pay. And
mm.
I mean, let's talk about that. Could you speak on that? How
Yeah,
do you
for sure.
transition your mind from I'm working for somebody to my job is my first business partner? How do you do that?
That's really good. I mean, for me, this may not be everybody's super deep answer. For me, I
Get
just keep it
deep.
real.
Get deep.
No,
Let me
this ain't
let me
even
adjust
deep.
my seat.
This
Let me
right, right.
adjust my
This
seat.
ain't
Get
even
deep.
deep though, Randy. This just real. This just how I think. I said at the end of the day, as I'm transitioning from the 9 to the 5 and to I'm doing this full time, nothing else but. I like for my lights to be on. Huh? We sometimes we make this too deep. Like if I need to work right now, so for one, I don't have to stress about my day to day.
Mhm.
I don't have to stress about my day to day while I'm planning my future. Really. Until this is not, and honestly, I mean, and this may not be for everybody, but some people say, until my side gig or whatever you want to call it, my hustle, whatever, replaces the income of that. For me, it doesn't necessarily have to replace it because I'm also benefiting from the things that I do on my 9 to 5. So that's why I say, how can you have your 9 to 5 work for your business as well? And then when the time comes when it no longer work, then you make the transition because now I've outgrown this no longer really truly wholeheartedly benefits me because now I have excelled and I'm on another level, right? And it doesn't mean that you can't have those stuff. But some people are like, you know what? If I make enough consistently where I can replace my income where I am in my 9 to 5, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But to me, I'm like, if I can work my 9 to 5, and this my situation is a little bit more different because I have a lot of flexibility. I create my own schedule, that type of thing. That's not the case with everybody. So I can just only speak from my experience. But if I can work the relationships that I've built and invested on the Xfinity side of things, then if I can also bring the outside relationships and bring them together, no different than what I just did with Morgan Cooper, everybody wins. Everybody wins. You know what I mean? And so sometimes we're so quick, I want to be done with that. But how is this helping you to do that? You know? So for me, now don't get me wrong, there is a time that's coming that I'm just like, I'm gonna transition from this and do this full time. But I personally don't see anything wrong with it if you can work it because entrepreneurship is real.
Mhm.
There are months when I have tons of clients, I'm like, I got a waiting list. There are other months I'm like, hello, I miss this. Anybody know me? you know, but in those lean months where I'm building as I'm
Mhm.
transitioning, I don't have to worry about if my lights are going to be on or not because I'm already doing the work on my 9 to 5 so that I can keep my mind creative and not stressed out.
Mhm.
Not struggling. Sometimes you got to go through the struggle and the pain. I'm sorry, I don't want to. I've had my days of homelessness. You know what I mean?
Let's talk
Southside
about.
Chicago.
Can you
Real
can you
talk.
can you
I,
talk about that? Like,
yes, sir, I can. Yes,
can
sir,
you
I
talk
can.
about that?
Yes, growing up, and this may be why I'm passionate about those high school, college kids because in the earlier years of my high school time, my freshman and sophomore year, we were homeless. And when I say homeless, I mean unhoused, meaning that there was an incident that happened in our family where, our house was taken from us, from a family member. Sometimes we do it to ourselves,
Right,
right? A
right,
family
right.
member, and it's all good. It ain't even no issues. But at the end of the day, it left us living in hotels. Hotels cost money. After a while, it got too expensive, so I had to stay at friend's house. To where it was like, okay, I do not have a home. My home was a double bedroom, queen, hotel room.
Mm.
And I didn't have to worry about cleaning my room because I had a maid to do it for me. Sometimes we got to think about perspective. How are
Mhm.
you looking at a situation? You said something earlier, is like how you can put a positive twist on it. That's just a gift that I have because I could have been like, man, my life is over because I don't have my own room. I'm an only girl and the youngest of four. So at the end of the day, I'm like, well, I don't have to clean my room because I have a maid to do it. I don't have to worry about making breakfast because I got a continental breakfast waiting on me in the hallway. It's perspective. Some people want to live in the struggle.
Mhm.
We
Mhm.
don't always have to do that. But how are you looking at the struggle? During the time that I was homeless, I was also number one of my high school class. I was also cheerleading captain. I was also National Honor Society. We were doing radio, TV, broadcasting. I was, national, all of those things, right? People never knew. Didn't even have a house.
What is that because a lot of people, you either have it or you don't. So what? Let's put a name to what. Let's describe what you just said. You were
Ooh.
homeless, went through all of those different type of things,
Mm,
but you still was top of your class. You were
yeah.
still, what is that? Like, what like, how do
Mm.
you get that?
Ooh,
Because
that's
some
a good
people some people
question.
struggle to get that, and I don't even know what name to put to it. Could you?
Yes.
I want you to,
Woo,
because this is
come
something
on,
you've
Randy.
done.
We digging deep. We
I
digging
want you to
deep.
put a
Okay.
name to it.
You
What
know
is
what?
that?
The only things that really come to mind was just hope, faith. I knew that this was not how my life was going to end. You have to know, like it's that determination. Like one of my speeches I talk about it's the dog in me, right? And I say that because during our homeless season, oh, this is just perspective. During our homeless time, so literally one of our office buildings, where my father worked, was his office by day, and it was our home by night. And outside of that building in Chicago, Illinois, there was an actual homeless man that slept outside every night on the doorstep. And we became friends because we had a secret. We were both homeless. It's just two different types of homelessness, right? And so literally, and he called his name, he called himself Dog. Literally. We was like dog. We became friends. What's my and he had a deep raspy voice. He said, "My name is Dog." That's how he saw himself.
Mm.
That was his perspective of himself and his situation. And we remember one of the nights, we had a crazy blizzard storm, and we begged Dog to come inside because he would never come inside because he said to me, "Dogs sleep outside." That was his perspective. I'm living a life of a dog. What happened to him in life where he gave up? What happened to him in life where he just said, "I'm no longer worthy to be a human, a man. I consider myself a dog." But there was some type of hope, there was some type of faith, there was some type of determination that was on the inside of us to say, our lives don't have to end up like Dog. And that night of that winter storm, literally, we begged Dog, "Come inside, come inside." And he said no because dogs sleep outside. But I got up and I went to the bathroom in the middle of the night, and Dog was on my heart. Because you can be going through a situation, but what is the true character? Are you still compassionate about for people? Are you still caring? Although your world might not be as you want it to be. And literally, Dog decided that night to come into the room, I mean, to come into the building. He slept on the inside because it was bitter cold Chicago. And when I tell you, that's what I say, you got to find the dog in you because he made the right decision that night. That could have been life or death. If he would may have not decided to come in, Dog could have died that froze to death that night. But what was in him that led him? I feel that thing to say, "I'm gonna make one good decision to make it one more day." You got to find the dog in you. So when you ask what was that, it's because this may be my situation right now, but I guarantee you, I'm gonna find a dog in me. Sometimes we're too passive. Sometimes we settle too much for the pain. Sometimes we settle too much for, "Oh, my situation bad." Guess what? As long as I'm in it and breathing, this situation gonna change. Whether it's today, whether it's tomorrow, whether it's years from now. But the moment that we lay down and we sit on the steps and we say, "I'm a dog," and dogs sleep outside, you're gonna stay outside. But there has to be something inside of you that say, "I gotta make one choice to live to tomorrow. And then tomorrow I gotta make another choice to live the next day." And before you know it, you'll be out of that situation. And we went from homelessness to now giving all glory to God. I live in a house on the golf course. I will never be homeless again. Why? Because I got to find that dog, and y'all better find that dog in you. Woo! I felt that.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we've heard some stuff tonight to the
Woo!
point where we got to cut this thing off, but we're going to do a part two.
Oh yes.
We're going to do a part two. We're going to do a part two because it's getting good and gooder.
Mm,
And that's
mm.
not even a word. I'm just
We
making
gonna
it
make
up.
it one tonight.
This is this legacy inspired podcast. We're gonna make up some words. I am excited. I wish I could go further with this. I wish I could go further with this, but time has
Yes.
gotten away from us. But I'm gonna get Kyra back on. I'm gonna
Yes.
find the dog in her, and we gonna get her back on. We gonna get her back on. Listen, let's put a bow on this. Kyra
Yes. Yes.
Lajune Ashby,
Yes.
the speaker impact specialist. Put a bow on this.
Yes.
What what do you have coming up after just in the near future? And then we're gonna
Yeah.
put a bow on it.
Yeah, well, I'll just say, first and foremost, as we're putting a bow on it, I want to thank you for this opportunity, just to share the stage. As speakers, as entrepreneurs, we're real protective of our baby, you know, and I don't take it lightly that you allowed me to carry your baby tonight. So I
Thank
just want to
you.
first, for sure, take the time to just thank you for that. And I think that this is what it's about. It's really about, it's called OPSs, other people's stages,
Mm.
because there's going to be someone who listens to this podcast that may come from my audience, and they may, look into something and say, man, that was powerful. Randy had a guest on, or, I just liked his vibe. Remember that what's your charm? That charisma. It's something about Randy, he was just down to earth as a speaker, right? And so that's where I'm at now. It's really other people's stages. I want to be able to continue to spread the word. I want to continue to encourage other people to find that dog in them. I want to encourage them to say, look, you don't have to, your journey does not have to look like everyone else's. You don't have to necessarily quit your job while you're still working on your passion. When that time comes, you will know it.
Mhm.
Just trust the process. And so that's where I'm at. I've been speaking. I actually just wrapped up. I was hosting the Santa Calagon festival here in Missouri. All three nights, opening up and bringing up the headliners. So I'm hosting. I'm emceeing. I'm speaking at colleges and universities. I'm open to doing all of that. That's what I have that's available. And then aside from the speaking on the coaching side of things, I do have opening for clients. So y'all better get with your sis, because I got
Get
some
with
dog
her.
in me.
Get with her. Get with
Yes,
her. Get with
for
her.
sure. And
Because
you
we don't.
can,
Because and what another thing what I want to do for all of my guests, Kyra,
yeah,
because this podcast is to highlight you. I want people to know who you are.
yeah,
I want people to know who you are, and in doing that, whatever program you want people to connect with you,
yes,
we want to put it down in the show notes
for
in the
sure.
description. This is going to be syndicated and
Yeah,
broadcasted on YouTube platforms and the podcast platforms where
perfect.
people can get in contact with you
Yes,
and work with you personally. And
yes.
so, with that being said, how do you want people to get in? How can people get in contact with you?
Absolutely, great question. So first and foremost, you can go to my website, which is KyraLajune.com. That's KIRALAJUNE, KyraLajune.com. There's a little chat box there. Just slide in the DM in the chat and say, hey, I saw you on the podcast. Like, hey, I just want to connect with you. Let's talk a little bit more there. You can also follow me on Facebook under Kyra Ashby, KIRAASHBY, or on Instagram as Kyra Lajune as well. So just reach out to me. We don't even have to be super formal. Slide in DMs, say, hey girl, I'm interested in, hearing about that dog and you, whatever, right? Just get on there and we'll connect. I check my own stuff personally because that's just the sis in me. I don't want to get so Hollywood that my assistant gonna reach out to you. I may get there someday, but today I want to talk to you personally. So slide in DM. Once again, Instagram is Kyra Lajune, Facebook Kyra Ashby, or you can go to KyraLajune.com. Reach out to me and we can connect.
All right, Kyra. Listen, we're gonna put a ball on it. Listen, there's somebody out there that's trying to figure it out. They're working a 9 to 5,
Yeah.
and they're tired.
Mm,
They're tired. They haven't found the dog yet.
yeah.
They haven't found the dog yet. They haven't found their voice. They have something on the inside that is handcuffed because of life circumstances.
Yeah.
They know that there's something special on the inside, but life has become a huge boulder and it's sitting on them, and they feel like all they have is the 9 to 5.
Yeah.
All they will be doing is 9 to 5. Talk directly to that person.
Absolutely. For sure. The first thing that came to mind is you will get through it. Trust the process. Trust the process. Do the work. Each day, do one thing while you're at work on your lunch break. Do one thing that will birth that future person, because you said, I know that I'm called to do something. I know that I'm bigger than where I am right now. Then manifest that person right now. Trust the process, but you must do the work. We can't just sit and think about, I know I'm supposed to be a speaker. I know I got a message. On your lunch break, write down one sentence as if you were on a stage. Hello, my name is such and such, and I'm a motivational speaker. Write that down. Manifest that thing. Do the work. The next day, what's the next line that you would say after speaking, right? Do the work today, and that will manifest tomorrow. But trust the process. I'm going to tell you now, it's not going to always be easy. If that's what you're looking for, you're in for a treat. That dog might have to be birthed, but remember, confidence can be built. You can do it. You already have everything that you need right now. You just have to trust yourself, allow yourself to be you, be that motivational speaker right there on your job. Find something every day to encourage somebody. Get on Facebook Live and say, I just want to encourage y'all today on my lunch break. Trust the process, and I guarantee you, the people that are earmarked for you, they will find you, they will hear you, they will invest in you, and you will change their lives. You have everything you need. Trust it.
Well, man. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we've heard from Kyra Lajune Ashby,
Yeah.
aka the Bel Air Queen herself unveiled,
I love
the
it.
speaker,
Yeah.
impact specialist, the sis. You
That's
heard from
it.
her. Listen, make sure you connect with her on all of the socials, and we're gonna definitely add some more information in the show notes in the descriptions. And hey, that's it. Let the church say, Amen.
Amen.